Hello everyone, my name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin, and in this video I would like to make some comments about the recent perhaps controversy with regard to the announcement of the region of Johor to change the weekend from Friday and Saturday to Saturday and Sunday. Now, this decision by the region has been met with some concerns by certain groups of Muslim. One group calling the move to be very un-Islamic, and another group would say that this is a colonial legacy, and why are we following a colonial legacy? And assumingly a colonial legacy would in one sense say that it is highly un-Islamic. Now, first of all, I would like to deal with the issue of this holy day, and also the issue of later on with regards to the idea of a colonial legacy. So there are two aspects here that I want to deal with, and the first one is about the concept of a holy day. The term holiday in English means perhaps something to do with the holy, something that is holy, and it involves the day. Now, the Western concept of the holy day, perhaps we can assume, comes from the Saturday of the Sabbath of the Jewish tradition, and the Sunday concerning the ones used by the Christian as a day of rest. Now, as far as I understand, the Sabbath in the Jewish tradition is a very, very old practice, to the point that it is very sinful for anyone to do any work during that day, because it is supposed to be a day of worship, in the sense that God rested on the seventh day. Now, this decision, or this aspect of the Jewish tradition is so strict to the point that some people would not even fight if they are attacked during the Saturday. But later on, this decision was changed in a sense that if you have to protect yourself, then you need to do work. If not, no work must be done at all during that particular day. So that is the concept of the holy day. A day no work must be done, and a day of which that is meant in one sense for worship and remembrance of God. Now, with respect to the Sunday, it is said in the tradition that Constantine, who later on embraced Christianity and is said to be the one who had convened the gathering of Christians to the point of what we have the Bible nowadays, is the product of that important meeting in the 5th century. And Constantine, being a Roman, integrated the idea of the Roman sun day to the point of the number of days that is considered to be the rest, or a day of rest. Because in different cultures, the days of the first day, second day, third day, the 7-day week is considered something that most culture would have, and then there is a definition or a difference of opinion onto what is the 7th day or what is the first day. And so the decision more than 1,000 years ago was made in relation to the idea of a day of rest and, in a sense, worship. But there is no tradition, as I understand it, that you cannot do work. And this is again not something that Jesus had said. And also with the Sabbath, I did not trace any part of what the idea of a prophet saying it, but it is a practice that has been done. So that is as much as we understand with regard to the holy day. Now, what is the holy day? One, on the Sabbath, which is a day that you cannot do any work at all for the whole day, and supposed to be for worship, whereas in Sunday it is a day of rest and contemplation and also in a sense having some kind of worship, but no mentioning of not being able to do certain work necessary for living. So this is the concept within the tradition of Christianity and within the tradition of the or the Jewish tradition. Now, what about Islam? Does Islam have this concept of a holy day, or day that is specifically only for worship, or a day specifically only for rest, or a day that is specifically not supposed to do any work at all? Now, in the Quran, if one were to search with regards to this concept, that there must be this kind of day, it doesn't exist. There is no such day which is considered holy day in the Quran itself, as far as I understand it. The only verse that relate to the Friday or the day Jum'ah, which is a gathering in a sense, is about the Friday prayers. And if we were to look at the verse, it says that when the call for prayers comes, you are to stop all work, meaning there is no work to be done, that you should be preparing for going to the prayers. And then it adds on that after the prayers, you are then required to just go back to work. So there is, in a sense, of a stopping of work, and there is a sense of worshipping, but it's only during that time of the Friday prayers, which occurs mostly at the present time in about 1 hour, in some cases 1.5 hours. When I was working full-time with as a public servant in the university, it is considered 12 o'clock to 2:45, meaning giving time to prepare to have lunch, and then for the prayers itself, and after that a little bit of rest, and then back to work. So that was the tradition. Now, when I was in Johor at the UTM, I had experienced both days, when weekend was Saturday and Sunday, and later on it was changed to Friday and Saturday. I didn't care much about it. I mean, it's a weekend, it's a weekend. So that is the aspect of the Quran in which the Quran clearly does not specify a particular day, a whole day, but only part of the day, which is about 1 hour to 2 hours, where prayers is instituted, and also the idea of leaving work for a moment of that particular time of worship. So in a sense, Islam recommends a 7-day work week, and the concept of having a holiday or a day where you do not go to work is something that is a practical matter, and it doesn't matter in which day it can occur. It can Muslims government can declare any day of the week to be the weekend, Monday and Tuesday, Saturday or Sunday, and I don't think this has anything to do with it being Islamic or not. Now, if we were to check the hadith, now the hadith, I found several that remarks the specialty of the day of Friday. It is said that the Friday sometimes is about the day of judgment, sometimes it's about a very good day for some sort of dua, or asking for what we call special prayers and things like that. This again does not denote, number one, the whole day, and it also does not denote the concept of stopping work. So there is none in all the hadith. Some are strong hadith, some are what we call weak hadith, that mentions this idea of a holy day with regards to stopping work and with regard to total worship for the whole day in a sense. So that there is none of that. So that is the matter in this sense. Now, let us move on to the second aspect of criticism, which is the idea that this is a colonial legacy. So, if it is a colonial legacy, then that means it's not very good. It is something quote unquote un Islamic. Well, we have to understand that Islam is a very pragmatic religion, it's very practical religion. We look at the UAE, which used to have a Friday and Saturday as their weekend. But then they converted it to now to Saturday and Sunday, as far as I understand some of the internet information. Then we see also Saudi grappling with the issue for the first time. They are trying to change to Saturday and Sunday. And some people are, of course, not happy, and maybe they will end up with having a 2.5 days, of which half of the day of Friday will be not for working. The morning is for working, and then the afternoon is for the prayers, and also not coming back to work. So that is 2.5 days. That is something that I believe is being discussed and decided upon. So we see here, why is the decision of UAE, a so-called Muslim country, having this sort of changing to Saturday and Sunday? Why is Saudi Arabia contemplating that? And furthermore, why is Indonesia also having Saturday and Sunday as their Hujung Minggu? This is the largest Muslim nation on earth, and they follow the so-called colonial tradition. Now, why is this so? It's simply because, as I said, there is no such thing as a holy day in Islam, and that the practice of a certain colonial culture of work or culture of doing business, if it is part and parcel of giving justice as well as not having too much difficulty for anybody to do, and it is a fair distribution of work, then Islam is having no problem with it. Just classifying it as something Western, just classifying it as something colonial, does not necessitate that it is un-Islamic. There are certain groups who wish to make this point in order to create this idea of them against us, meaning us Muslim against the non-Muslim. And I think this is a very, very dangerous thing and a very, very sad thing, because it negates the practicality of Islam. Like, if you cannot find halal food, then you can eat whatever that is there for the nourishment of your body. And that is the most practical thing. And if you are traveling, and then Islam allows you to do the musafir prayer, shorten the prayer, combine the prayer, and make it very easy. Similarly, also in having a mosque, the Prophet had declared the whole earth as the mosque, and that is also something very practical. So Islam is a very practical, a pragmatic religion, and that is one of the reasons why I became or believe in Islam in that regard. So we also see that countries that is very big in economy and has never been colonized by any Western powers, like China and Korea, as well as Japan, all of them have Saturday and Sunday as their weekend. Why is this? They certainly have no business following the Western world, but we see a lot of their lifestyle following the Western tradition. And why is this so? Simply because they want to do business, and they want to be part of the global context where it has been established by the West, Saturday and Sunday, and they just follow simply because that is already been practiced, and there's no problem about it. To be successful in business and to be successful in anything has nothing to do with a specific day, but have everything to do with how you do the work, how you have your ideas, how you have your implementation of those ideas, and also most importantly how you relate to other people. If you start saying, well, the Western world is very, very un-Islamic, and our Islamic world is very, very Islamic, then it is a very difficult thing to have communication, respect, and trust in relation to having any kind of activity. So that is the essence of the issue of Saturday and Sunday, or the weekend issue, which unfortunately has become something of a religious what we call uh, question mark, which I think it is in the past has nothing to do with it. But of course, certain groups who like to put up this idea of Islam being very different than others, Islam being very pure, others are being very dirty, and so trying to put up these differences simply for the sake of gaining populist votes for their own party. So with that, I hope that the explanation suffices to show that Islam is a very practical, pragmatic religion, and it accepts whatever the best practices of other cultures, and also it is a religion that do not possess a specific holy day, and that it is only that part of the day of 1 or 2 hours that is declared by Islam to be something for worship, and to stop, of course, when you are doing worship, to stop doing your work. And after that, then it is encouraged to continue with the activities of subsistence. With that, thank you very much.